Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to the first edition of Cobry Meets. This will be a semi-regular series where we'll be talking to the great and the good from our friends at Google and other third-party vendors that we work with. Okay, so Rylan, we'll start with some questions for you then. Firstly, I suppose a relevant one would be, can you tell us what the Board 65 and the Desk 27 are?
Awesome, yeah, no worries at all. So the Desk 27 is a 27-inch 1440p small form factor desk, shall we say, with a built-in i5 processor running the Chrome operating system. We've got a 1080p camera, 5 megapixels, microphone harnessing Google's True Voice technology, and a soundbar. So it's effectively an all-in-one solution that you can place on the desk, connect, you have full Google Meet functionality, unless you so choose, can connect your own device, whether it be a MacBook, a Chromebook, or a Windows device, and have access to every single application on your device, on the display, with the added functionality of touch.
What is the level of interoperability these devices offer with other software, other hardware? And I guess, can you explain what interoperability is, which is easy for me to say, and just for what our viewers might not know what that is?
Of course. So with regards to interoperability, we're trying to identify, or it's encompassing the ability for our devices, whether it be a MacBook, a Windows device, to effectively operate with the Desk 27. I'm trying to define interoperability without using interoperability.
So Nick, first question for you. So aside from the obvious brainstorming sessions, what other use cases have you seen Board 65 whiteboarding functionality used for?
Well, there's tons of different things you can do. So I mean, things like if you've got agile working set up within your development teams, you can use them for Scrum boards, Kanban stuff you can set up. You've got the ability to create templates before the session starts, so you can basically use those for different sessions. I mean, essentially anything that is planning. So that might be like project planning. It could be design planning. It really lends itself really well to that, I think. I don't think it's like the sort of device where you would collaborate to bring like the final version, like the polished version of something. But during the planning phases of all these sorts of activities, it suits it really well. But especially I've seen it quite a few times in that sort of agile development sort of situation where for part of the day it's a video conferencing device. People you've got the team in the office who are talking to people working remotely, but at the same time you can switch between the different frames that are on the board, and you can have your Scrum board on there. Move using post-it notes to move things from in work to finished, all that sort of stuff.
Okay, great, thanks. Sort of moving more outward, rather than just focusing on the Avocor aspect. I mean, what are Google Meet's priorities as a whole for development this year?
So, I mean, there's a lot of development going on across a number of different areas, but I think like most organizations, we're looking at what hybrid means, and essentially trying to fix some of the issues around hybrid working. So I think different ways we're looking at doing that. Some of it is about when people join remotely and they're looking into meeting rooms in the office. It's about being able to transform that small tile of the meeting room and basically make it as accessible as possible. So we're doing things like just on a very basic level, making that meeting room tile larger than the individual tiles so you can see into the room. But then you've also got some of the issues, for instance, someone might be sitting close to the camera and then someone sat behind them and they're totally obscured. So that in that sort of situation, or someone sit right at the back of the room, and regardless, we do things already like what we call framing. So that's removing the unused space and just concentrating on the people. But in that situation, if someone sat at the back of the room, you still really can rarely see their face. So what we do, we've also got companion mode, which hopefully most people have used to some degree, which is what I'm using now. Basically means that as well as, because I'm joining from a meeting room, even though it's me on my own in my living room, this is like this is the Lenovo Series 1 device, which is just to sort of loop back onto what Rylan said about True Voice. The noise cancellation's on, so if I do this, you can't hear, hopefully, me banging the glass, but you can still hear my voice. So that's how that True Voice noise cancellation works. But sort of going back to what I was talking about, we're doing things, thanks Tim. So yeah, things like we're doing something called check-in. So we're bringing companion mode at the moment, which is just on laptop. We're bringing that to mobile for the first half of the year and to tablet second half of the year.
It's really fascinating from my perspective, listening to the collaboration internally. One of the key things I use the Desk 27 for is collaborating externally with clients. And one of the things that I'd like to hear you guys who are using this regularly is understand, how can I get, in the simplest possible way, a PDF onto my Desk 27 and write over the top of it to explain, almost like a teacher to my client, what this document is doing and what it means before they actually get the document, so that I'm almost kind of illustrating on the screen as a teacher. What's the easiest way to do that?
I mean, unless you want to take it, Rylan, I'm happy to. But essentially, you can access, if you're using, say, like the web version, you can access your drive through that, and you can pull files from your drive. So that will, anything that you bring from drive into the jam session is essentially an image file. So you can bring that in. You can, if it's a doc, you can open it, and when you open the placeholder in the session, you can drag out whichever page you want to use, or multiple pages.
My question is, for the 27, can it replace? I'm sitting here in front of two 27-inch screens. Would a 27 just replace one of those screens, and could I use it still as a dual screen?
Well, yeah, so you could, if you were to have an existing 27 with a Desk 27, how you would do it is drive it from your compute or whichever laptop you're using. So
I'm using a Mac Mini. It actually wouldn't be a laptop. Would that be all right?
Oh yeah, Mac Mini is also fine. You just have the outputs going into two of the screens, and then you'd go into the display settings within your Mac Mini, and then have them as two separate screens.
Thanks everyone for joining us for the first of this Cobry Meets series. I think it's been a pretty successful episode. So we'll stop the recording there, and thank you very much again, and we'll hopefully see you all at the next one.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks everyone. Take
Thanks,
care.
everybody. Cheers.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Rylan. Bye.